This evening, National Assembly passes a bill to regulate the use of electric bikes. Harsh penalties for offenders in new trafficking in persons law. Opposition welcomes the EU's follow-up team to assess progress on electoral reforms. In the region, US prepares for influx at Mexico border as Title 42 expiry nears. And internationally, Israel targeted air raids in densely populated areas of Gaza. Welcome to this broadcast of Channel 2's Headline News Update for May 11, 2023. I am Baby Bacchus. Thank you for joining us. First up, the National Assembly of Guyana has passed the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Amendment Bill of 2023 to regulate the use of electric bikes on the roads. The bill seeks to amend Section 2 of the Motor Vehicle and Road Traffic Act to regulate the use of electric cycles, and it inserts a definition for electric cycle. This will subject electric bikes to the same regulations as motorcycles regarding registration and use. The bill was presented by the Minister of Home Affairs, Robinson Ben, who argued that the usage of electric cycles needs to be regulated, as people, including children, are often seen riding them without protective gears. The bill defines an electric cycle as any motorcycle with an electric motor fitted with an effective stopping system controlled by brakes, gears, or motor control. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlall said the bill represents the government's commitment to protecting Guyanese as the steadily increasing use of electric vehicles has begun to pose a danger to the public. Opposition Member of Parliament Geeta Chandan Edmond supported the bill, noting that including electric cycles in the amendment clarifies the legislation. The bill will facilitate the registration and licensing of electric bikes as there was no legislation to regulate them. Continuing on our coverage of the National Assembly, the government has passed the Combating of Trafficking in Persons Bill 2023 in the National Assembly, which replaces the previous 2005 bill with stronger measures to combat human trafficking. The robust and comprehensive legislation strengthened Guyana's response to human trafficking, as it is constituted with key measures aligned with global best practices and involving socio-political requirements. The bill includes punitive measures with a summary conviction carrying a 5-year imprisonment sentence and conviction on indictment resulting in life imprisonment. The Minister of Human Services and Social Security, Dr. Vinay Prasad, informed the House that the bill received extensive work from local and international bodies with wide consultations. Minister Prasad added that there would also be significant fines, charges, and convictions relative to attempts of conspiracy or complacent acts of trafficking. Endorsing the bill, the Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandlall, indicated that reconstitution is an approach that must be pursued to hurt perpetrators of human trafficking. Meanwhile, the Trafficking in Persons Unit and Counter-Tip Unit have made successful strides in combating human trafficking through screening and interviewing suspected victims and training individuals to recognize signs of human trafficking. In other news, a West Berbice man has been charged with attempted murder after being on the run for nearly 3 months. 38-year-old Kevin Suklal, a laborer from Underneming Village, West Coast Berbice, appeared via Zoom before Fort Wellington Magistrates Court on Wednesday, May 10th. Suklal appeared before Magistrate Peter Hughes and was not required to enter a plea. He was remanded to jail. The court heard that Suklal stands accused of attempting to murder 51-year-old Trevor Blair, a laborer from Hopetown Village, West Coast Berbice. The alleged incident occurred on February 17th at Bel Air, West Coast Berbice. Suklal had managed to evade authorities until his recent arrest on May 6th. His next court appearance will be on May 18, 2023. Stick around when we return. Tourism Ministry launches Independence Snap and Share competition, and opposition welcomes the EU's follow-up team to assess progress on electoral reforms.
It's the time of the year to show the mother figure in your life appreciation. And where is the best place to get great gift ideas? Clearance, of course. At Clearance, we have a fantastic 2-day sale for mothers. 25% off ladies' clothing. Ladies' fashionable dresses in all sizes and styles. Jumpsuits, skirt suits and pantsuits. Ladies' dockers pants and tops, dress pants. Designer handbags and a variety of fragrances. Designer shoes in different colors and sizes. Remember, this sale is for 2 days only. Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th of May. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 46 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop. Be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinate soak for all you wanna know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, jerk seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document plantain flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radhika went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she routine even wrong. She shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
What's the problem, Granny? I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again. Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hi, Mr. Smart. Please stop a minute and just clarify this thing for me.
Oh, Sonel, don't tell me it's local government questions again.
Yeah, boss. How come the local government elections different from the general elections?
Okay, the local government election systems allow for half of the members of the council to be elected through the proportional representation system, just like general elections. And the other half will be elected through the first past the post system. This system allows for one candidate to be elected to represent the constituency where he or she lives. For example, if a council got 30 seats, like the Georgetown municipality, 15 will be elected through the proportional representation system, and the other 15 will be elected through the first past the post system, giving a total of 30 councillors.
So that means that every constituency will have one of its citizens who live there having a seat and representing it at council.
Yes, Sunil, that's correct. And if you need to know anything else about the electoral system for local government elections, just call GCOM. Take care, Sunil.
All right.
Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce is hosting a photo contest called Snap and Share 57 for Guyanese travelers to share their local travel experiences and promote the country's beauty. The contest aims to encourage Guyanese to appreciate their country's natural beauty and to motivate travelers to explore the nation's tourist attractions. The competition started last year, and the ministry received over 1,000 photos, and this year a larger response is expected. The first prize is $100,000 and a trip for two to Kaitro Falls. The second prize is $75,000 and a cellular phone, and third prize is $50,000 and a two-night package at Karanambu Lodge. Participants can submit their entries to snapandshare57@gmail.com by May 23rd, and the photos will be uploaded to the ministry's Facebook page. The ministry is calling on all Guyanese to participate in celebrating the country's natural beauty and cultural heritage. In other news, in a press statement today, the opposition said they welcome the presence of the EU's 2020 Election Observer Mission follow-up team to assess progress on electoral reforms. They endorsed the recommendations made by the team's final report on the 2020 Ghana elections and highlight the need for an overhaul of the Elections Commission, a thorough update of the voters' registrar, clear procedures for the transmission and tabulation of results, mandatory publication of all GCOM decisions, and establishing an election dispute resolution system. The opposition also intends to make a case for a clean voters list and the use of biometrics for voting in their meetings with the EU follow-up mission. The press statement further read that regarding the liability coverage for oil spills, the opposition knows the emerging national collectiveness among Guyanese people to defend their country and patrimony. They criticized the government's disregard for the risk and their fight to overturn a judge's ruling that enforces the liability clause in permits issued to ExxonMobil. The opposition sees this as a turning point in Ghana's political culture, with citizens across social, ethnic, and political lines coming together to defend the country. They call for transparency and accountability to root out corruption, particularly with allegations levied against second Vice President Jack Leo. Don't go away after the break. DR Congo landslide, 5,000 people still missing in South Kivu, and Israel targeted air raids in densely populated areas of Gaza.
Good girl forget things.
What's the problem, Granny?
I want money for borrow for those surgery. I was dancing and I fall and fracture my hip.
If you need some quick money, you should check Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop, lot 238 South Road Border, Georgetown. Get jewelry made to order in just 72 hours. We also accept vehicles. Lender's, best rates, longest payback period.
Boys, I get through. Plus, I could dance again.
Lender's Jewelry and Pawn Shop.
Hello, my fellow TikToker followers. It's Credit, and today all we will be making Chinese noodles with peppies, chow mein, chicken fritters, and spice cake. For the noodles, all of these will be using peppies, black pepper, cashew,
Chinese sauce, soy sauce, garlic sauce, paprika, Chinese seasoning, chow mein seasoning, five spice, and all-purpose seasoning.
Next, this chicken that we marinated, soak for all you don't know nothing with peppies, green seasoning, miracle seasoning,
Pepper sauce, chicken seasoning, paprika, garlic powder, dark seasoning, black pepper, onion powder, and ginger powder, and document planting flour, and then this butter we make with this quick piece powder, and we
boil in high. We serve with peppies, barbecue sauce. Radical went to the supermarket and she proper buy up enough things. She feels she alone can cook, but she wrote it even wrong. He shaped like a guy in a map.
Peppies has a wide range of ingredients available at supermarkets nationwide. Peppies, we put the pep back into your kitchen.
When you need money and you gotta get it fast, Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop is the place for that confidential transaction in a quiet and secure location. You'll get the highest value per pennyweight for your gold and also enjoy the lowest interest rates and longest payback period too. Yes, for that instant transaction to solve a pressing financial problem. That Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, 4-6 Boyle Place, that's between the Ministry of Housing on Brickdam and White Castle Fish Shop, be your first and only choice. Creative Jewelry and Pawn Shop, safe and sound, solid and secure, always there for you. Telephone 231-7878 and 223-8955.
It's the time of the year to show the mother figure in your life appreciation. And where is the best place to get great gift ideas? Clearance, of course. At Clearance, we have a fantastic 2-day sale for mothers. 25% off ladies' clothing. Ladies' fashionable dresses in all sizes and styles. Jumpsuits, skirt suits and pantsuits. Ladies' Dockers pants and tops, dress pants. Designer handbags and a variety of fragrances. Designer shoes in different colors and sizes. Remember, this sale is for 2 days only. Friday the 12th and Saturday the 13th of May. Clearance, always keeping you in style.
Miss Anne! Miss Anne!
Oh, hi, darling.
Help me out with this thing, man. You just know everything. What's all this talk about local government election?
Local government refers to the mayor and councillors who manage the affairs of our towns, like Georgetown, and the chairman and councillors of the Neighborhood Democratic Council.
Oh, but why is that important to me?
Dolly, it is very important. Every day, local government officials make decisions that affects you, your family, and the community. They serve the people within the community in which they were elected.
Oh, Miss Anne, me not understand all them big words you use there. Tell me what local government does do.
All right, darling. Local government is responsible for maintaining and protecting public property, like our community centers and the playgrounds, for collecting the garbage, maintenance of the streets, cleaning of the drains and the carpets, and so much more.
Oh, I now understand. Thanks, Miss Anne.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna show off for me friends them why I will vote at the local government elections.
That's a good thing. Let's go.
Monday, June 12, 2023 is Local Government Elections Day. For further information, contact GCOM or visit the GCOM website at www.gcom.org.gy.
Welcome back. Now let's take a look at what's happening in the region and around the world. U.S. President Joe Biden's administration is preparing for the end of a controversial public health order that allows authorities to turn away most asylum seekers at the United States border with Mexico. Al Jazeera's Joel Holman has more.
They've been coming whichever way they can. Bus, plane, freight train. Migrants from Central, South America and beyond are heading to the US border. At least some of them, because this week marks a big change in US migrant policy. The end of Title 42, a controversial measure that the United States has used to refuse asylum to most migrants for 3 years on the grounds that they might carry COVID. It finishes on Friday, but there's confusion among those at the border over whether the change in rules will actually make it easier to get into the US. An impromptu camp has sprung up in the shadow of the border wall in Ciudad Juárez, Mexico. We met Juliana and her daughter Emily from Venezuela on their way in.
We've got to get in today. Tomorrow they could refuse us because Title 42 ends and the new rules begin.
Many more here think the same. They've been queuing for days. It seems that the messaging from the US has percolated down to the ground. American authorities have been at pains to say that just because Title 42, with its near blanket ban on asylum seekers, is ending, that doesn't mean that there's an open border. They're bringing in other rules. Those looking for asylum have to make an appointment here in Mexico through an app called CBP One. And people who jump the fence looking to hand themselves in on the other side, as has happened in the past, could face up to 5 years ban on re-entry to the States or even prosecution. But there are a lot of glitches in the new system. The CBP One app is up and running, but migrants say it regularly crashes. The second step on the app just doesn't open, Juliana told me. And despite the new rules, the US is still expecting a surge on the border. Michael, who we met on the train into Juárez, explained why.
Like all migrants, we're looking for a better future. Not to be treated as kings, but to be given a chance.
US officials estimate that there are 22 million displaced people in the Americas. Many of those heading to the States would echo that. John Holman, Al Jazeera, Ciudad Juárez.
Internationally, thousands of families in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo lost everything in a landslide last week. Entire villages in South Kivu province were swept away and more than 400 people have been confirmed dead. 5,000 are still missing. Al Jazeera's Katrina Soy reports.
11-year-old Francois Matabishi and his 3 brothers are building a shelter on a hill in the village of Nyamukubi. His parents and other siblings are among those still missing after the landslide. They sleep in the cold, their new home is leaking, and they have no food.
We don't have anyone to help us. We only have the clothes we're wearing. I don't know what to do. We miss our parents, but they're gone.
A short distance away, Birage Kadogo, another survivor, is trying to keep his wife safe and dry. Their children are missing.
I looked for my children, but I couldn't find them. We even searched Lake Kivu. They must be buried underneath the mud.
All these families have similar stories. The landslide killed hundreds of people, relatives, friends, and neighbors. This is very much a community in mourning. People here are trying to do whatever they can to rebuild, but this area is not safe. They say it's been raining heavily every day. Aid has started trickling in, but the number of people who need help far exceeds the supplies. Government officials say the priority is moving people to safety.
We have formed a committee to gauge when we can declare the end of the search and recovery operation. What is important is to protect those who've been affected and to make sure we have measures in place to avoid another tragedy.
Francois and his brothers tell us they're trying to stay strong, stay alive, and survive. Catherine Soy, Nyamukubi, South Kivu, Democratic Republic of Congo.
Pakistan's government has...
And finally, Israel has continued its attack on Gaza, killing 21 people, including women and children, in response to what it says were rockets fired by Palestinian groups. Gaza's health ministry says 7 people were killed on Wednesday, a day after Israeli strikes on the Palestinian territory left 15 dead. Al Jazeera's Yumana El Said reports.
Israeli fighter jets take off. Their targets, Israel says, are 40 Islamic Jihad positions in the Gaza Strip. But Palestinians say houses and residential areas were also hit.
This attack was not against Islamic Jihad operatives, it was against the Palestinian people, because Gaza comprises of high rises which are crammed next to each other. So there's hardly any space between buildings. 6,000 people live per square kilometer. So you can imagine the amount of destruction in buildings and in lives when Israel decides to attack a so-called target.
In retaliation, Palestinian armed groups fired hundreds of rockets into southern Israel. Some traveled as far as Tel Aviv.
Armed groups here in Gaza say they have launched an operation called the Revenge of the Free People after Israeli forces killed 3 senior members of Al-Quds Brigades, that's the military wing of Islamic Jihad, on Tuesday.
The movement's spokesman says Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is under pressure due to the widespread resistance to his proposed judicial overhaul. And the military action is a distraction.
The cowardly assassination is related to the political goals related to the disagreements within Netanyahu's government coalition. We all heard Ben Gvir and his conditions on the government of Netanyahu. This is not related to what Islamic Jihad has done or not done.
Netanyahu hasn't ruled out expanding the operation. Analysts warn such a move could escalate the situation.
If Israel continues its aggression, if Israel continues to bombard Palestinian civilian areas and more Palestinian civilians are going to be killed, I think that will probably lead to other Palestinian factions to be involved.
Palestinians have buried their dead, and the grief at the funerals has turned to anger and frustration. Egypt is calling for an immediate ceasefire. The United States has called for calm, and the Arab League is set to hold an emergency meeting. Yumna Sayed, Al Jazeera, Gaza.
This brings us to the end of the regional and global news coverage. Up next is the 3-day weather forecast. And that's it for Safe TV2's headline news for this Thursday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. You can also tune in tomorrow morning at 6:30 for a rebroadcast and in the evening at 7 for more news. Until then, please take care of yourself and each other.